Okay, so let's begin then. Let's think about setting our posture position. Just put my light on actually. So we're going to take our feet to roughly hip width apart. We want to think about standing up nice and tall, of course. So we've got that feeling of lifting and lengthening, so the spine is creating a bit of space straight away, but without being tense, softening into the shoulders and the knees a little bit. Bringing the hands onto the belly then, as we just start to notice nice, easy, natural, gentle rise and fall, which is our normal everyday breathing, and we'll stay with that just for now. So letting the arms relax then, we're dropping the chin towards the chest, we're lifting up and lengthening away. We'll just take a moment to have a little check-in, see how everything's feeling today, and try and just very gently at the start, ease into the major joints and some of those muscles. Now we're going to draw back, so we're lining the head up a little bit more now, tucking the chin in. As we go side to side from here, we just have a little look over again, check and see how that neck is feeling, and gently encourage. We're going to come back to centre this time, and we're going ear up, shoulder down. So it's anchoring the arm in place with that slight diagonal, and then trying to feel as if you're lifting the head off your shoulders to create that nice feeling of space. Let's just go one more to either side there, and then allow the arms to relax and let the head drop down very gently again and come across. We'll probably look a bit further over with this one, so as you come around you can see further behind you than you could on the turning head movement. So we're just going to go one more to either side here. All the while we're just still with that nice easy breathing hopefully. We're coming back to the middle, we're picking that head back up, and it feels almost like you're placing your head back on top of your body. So let me squeeze the shoulders back, lift them up, curl and slide down. So we're rolling through that. Of course it's all about encouragement, so we can go probably a bit bigger with the shoulders than we do with the neck, but it's just, as always, feeling into what is comfortable. So let's go one more forward and then take it back the other way. So we feel that stretch, and then we feel those squeezes as we come up and around the back. That nice contrast of stretch and squeezing, releasing everything. Let's go one last time, being aware of just sliding the shoulders down into the back and setting them in that position. Hands come onto the ribs then as we step the feet out a bit, and we're going side to side. So we're just moving through the hips. Just got, I need to read. Oh, sorry, I don't know why. It looks okay from my end, so I don't know. We'll keep going and we'll see how we get on. So hopefully it will sort itself out. I might have to check my bandwidth in a second, or switch to my phone if it's no good. Okay, so last couple of little hip wiggles there, and then we're going to come back, bring the hands onto the hips and scoop and roll. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I can still see you all okay, and I'm gonna just, we'll get through the warm-up, and then if I need to fiddle around with my Wi-Fi and 4G and stuff, then I may do. So anybody else, if you're having problems with the screen or anything, let me know. So we're just finding those two extremes. We're going to settle into the middle. So we've got tailbone down, and we're just holding into that position. We're going to float up onto the tiptoes, so lift up and away, floating down, and then flexing through, try not to topple over of course. Float up, float down and flex. We're then going to add the arms, so we're going to come up. As we float down, we open, and as we let the arms come down, we're flexing. So we're getting this nice little pattern, hopefully, of arms and legs with a little bit of coordination. Float and lift, open and lower down, flex and release. And we'll just take a couple more through that pattern. We're just thinking balance, of course, come as high as we can. Ooh, there we go. So from here, we're planting the feet down. We're taking the arms up in the air. We're swinging through, and we're going to stretch high and then swing down into the hips. So inhale up, exhale down. So we get this really nice releasing breath swing, warming up a bit through the knees and hips, getting those muscles moving, and then just swing through. Okay, let's go one last time. Reach it up and then circle the arms around, just opening out there so the chest is stretching. Very nice. All right, step the feet out a little bit and then take a twist here. So we're going to lift up the back foot, allow the arms to swing loosely, and then just flow through. Nice and soft and gentle. Okay, let's just take a couple more of those. And then come back to the middle and relax. Good. Roll the shoulders, shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Okay, is anybody still struggling with bandwidth or any connection issues, or are we okay? Have we got is it a or is it a thumbs up? We're okay to carry on. Okay, right, I'll tell you what. Oh, having the same troubles. Okay, let me just, as we've finished our warm-up, let me just briefly pause. You'll still be able to see me, but I'm just going to fiddle around with my, I'm not disappearing, I'm just going to fiddle around with my internet. Just let me check it, and I'll come back, and then hopefully we can carry on uninterrupted in a minute. So I think it turns my camera off, but you can probably still hear me. Let me go into my settings, and let's see what is wrong with my, right, let's go back and see if that's any better. Okay, it's just popping all your cameras back on. I don't know if that's right. Oh, okay. I've gone onto my phone internet, which is what I've used in the past when we've had these problems. Does it seem all right now? Can you hear me and stuff and see me? Yeah, okay, that was a nod from Ruth, so we'll carry on. Okay, so I want to just do a little bit of standing work. So I deliberately didn't get you down to the floor just then, because I want to do a little bit of standing posture work before we do head to the floor. So for this one, we've got our feet hip width, normal standing posture, slightly soft knees. I'm taking the arms forward, so I'm reaching out into this like parallel arm position, palms facing towards one another, and we're drawing back. So I'm pulling my elbows possibly behind me, depends how far back the chest muscles will let you go. Once you're there though, you're going to then turn the palms upwards and then reach overhead, but you're trying to control your shoulders so that as you reach up, your shoulders aren't lifting and shrugging, they're staying down, and then we pull the elbows back down, turn back to horizontal and reach forward. So it's draw back, turn, so your fingers are pointing up, stretch as high as you can without losing your neck, and then draw down, reach forward, and then stretch through that. So I'm just going to come in and do that without my jumper for one, and two, a little bit closer just so you can really see the shoulder position that I'm talking about here. So I'm coming back, 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 back. Then once the elbows are back, I'm turning into that upright position. Then as we come up, it's the control of the shoulders here. So the arms are going up without the shoulders. So the shoulders, you're drawing them down your back to get that control. And you can reach either together if you can get there, or just wherever, it depends like how this is all feeling. Down into the horizontal position again, and then forward and back. So then hopefully once you get into the pattern, you'll get a little bit of a flow happening. But like I say, overall, although it's the arms that are moving, and you will feel a bit of work definitely around the arms, it's that control of the shoulders here, so that as you're pushing up, you're not having the shoulders going up, you're keeping them down. So it's just being very, very aware and conscious of the posture, which is, you know, a good thing to do. We sometimes practice this when we're doing sitting work, but yeah, it's a good one to do. You will start to feel it definitely around those shoulders and arms. So I'm going to say maybe another few repetitions here. And of course, if your arms do get tired, you can always stop if you need to. But if I just take another couple through, I think we've done quite a lot of reps now. I always have a tendency to lean back on this, so try not to do that. Last one, I think then, arms and shoulders, definitely going to have felt that work. So then release, and then when you finish, of course, you're in that stretch forward position. Just bring your hands together, and then you just drop the chin slightly and open out the shoulders like we normally do in sitting. at the end. That will just give a nice stretch across there, so you can just hold that for a couple of breaths. Then you can release that down and we'll shake and loosen everything out, so we're ready to head down to the floor now. So are we okay on connection now? Are we able to manage? Is that better? Okay, brilliant. Rightio, then I'm going to angle myself down. You guys get yourselves comfortable. And yeah, just making sure that you can be comfy in your position. If you need to have head support or anything like that, of course, then bring that with you. Just making sure I'm in both screens. Okay, so when we get down then, we're laying on our back, we're nice and comfortable. We may be supporting our head if we need it, but either way, we are definitely resting our hands onto our tummy so we can bring a little bit of focus into our breathing. Let's just notice nice, easy, normal, natural breathing to start with. Just observe that for a few breaths. Then you're going deeper. So as you inhale, you feel the belly rise. And as you exhale, encouraging gently as we breathe out to the end. Okay, very, very nice. Rightio then. We are floating up there. We're coming into some lower body work. So we're going to float up our first leg knee above hip. Now there is a single and a two leg version of this. We're going into scissors. They are a bit different, so I'm going to start with single leg. For that, I'm going to take a straight leg up in the air, and you can see I've just got my foot flexed there. I'm pulling the toes towards, or the foot really, towards my shin. So I'm pushing through my heel, I'm dropping the weight of the leg down but controlling it, and then I point the toes and pick the leg back up. So that's a straight leg, single leg scissor, up and down. Very, very strong through the hip and the front of the leg, so the bum and the front of the thigh. Keep going, do about 10 or 15, then change. For the two leg scissors, it's a little bit different. You can do it in straight leg and it would be the same there. But most of us are probably going to do bent leg scissors if we're doing two leg work. The difference here is that both legs move at the same time. So you can see here how I'm scissoring my legs, although they're bent. The knee angle actually isn't changing. They're staying bent, so the legs are still travelling down and up rather than forward and back like on a leg stretch, for example. And if you want more challenge, you open a greater knee angle. And again, you still try and get that scissor action. So that's really super challenging on two legs. You can definitely feel that working. They're both challenging, just in slightly different ways, of course, because two leg work is a little bit quicker. But of course, when you've got both legs in the air, you know there's always going to be greater challenge, particularly around the low back and tummy. So if you've got niggly backs, two leg work isn't always great. Whereas if you do the single leg work, it's a little bit slower. So you're working for slightly longer, and it's a very, very strong, because it's a straight leg and you're doing that flex and that point. So I wouldn't necessarily say there's an easier version with this one. They're both challenging. It's more about just working, of course, with what's better for your back. That's the main consideration, probably, whether you do single or double leg work, and they're both going to be challenging. So keep working through. I'll give you a bit longer. When you're done, of course, you can always rest and relax as you need to. Very nice. Now, of course, when you come into your rest phase, this could be using some time to take some stretching that you normally like to do, or it can be just completely resting. So very, very soft, nice, comfy position. Go into your breath focus for a moment. Just be observing normal breathing. Just be very soft and gentle. Wonderful. so we're going to stay here. I want to think a little bit now about rotations. Of course, often with our work on our back, there's this focus like there just was on the scissors of maintaining very stable pelvis position and then working really strongly around that whole hip and thigh area. So now we think about moving, twisting. So the arms come away into a little diagonal position here. I'm picking up into a single tabletop, but instead of my leg moving, it's going to be movement from and with the centre. So this leg's pretty much staying still. As I breathe out, I'm going to roll my leg to the opposite side. So I'm coming into quite a big twist, this one is, and then inhale, come back. To be honest, if you switch the breathing around, it wouldn't matter too much here, so it would work just as well if you inhale on the way over and then exhale to come back. So that leg, like I say, it isn't moving, it's just holding its position. For more challenge, it could be straight. So just like the scissors were a moment ago, I could challenge this centre more by having a straight leg as I come over there. And of course, that's going to feel heavier straight away because the leg is straight. So I'll probably do about 10 twists because they're all going the same way. Of course, then you'll have to come to the other leg and reset yourself, line yourself back up, because you're going to get very stretched and released in one direction. So of course, come back, change legs and go the other side in a moment. We're thinking about a stable upper body, but not too much tension. So staying soft in shoulders, relax through there. You've got those arms giving you that little bit of support and stability. And then hopefully you're able to basically hinge the weight of that leg over and draw it back. So it's a hip roll, but a more challenging version because you've got the leg up in the air. And like I say, bent or straight will also help you to change the challenge level with that too. So if you haven't changed direction yet, you're probably getting to about 10 by now, I'd imagine. So if you've lost count, don't worry. But yeah, as soon as you're ready, pop that leg down, up with the other leg, knee or straight leg, and then control that twist. And you really can just allow the weight of that leg to pull you into position. As with anything twisting, really, it's just as long as your back feels comfortable, you can go with it as much as you want to. Okay, we're looking good. Okay, very nice. So you're probably on your last few now on this second side. As always, coming into your rest position. Again, you may just want to relax for a moment here. It's a good chance just to switch off for a moment, be into the breathing. Or again, any particular twisting or stretching that you want to do. Very, very nice. Rightio, we are going to turn onto our sides this time. So come over and have a little rest on your side. So you're facing me this way. We're going to think about coming into a straight line. We're working very strongly here, super strongly into the abdominals. We're always doing that on side work, but it's even more noticeable on this one. So I'm setting up in a straight line, and it won't matter too much here. If you are comfortable on the hip, then I probably would have the bottom leg raised up a little bit just to add a bit of challenge, but if that's a bit uncomfortable, it's fine just to take this leg down. This hand is giving us a bit of support, but out of the way so it doesn't restrict our movement, and we're doing a strong leg push here. So I am bringing the knee up in front, and then I am pushing down through the heel. And first I follow the line of the leg, but then I do a bit of a squeeze back with a nice straight leg, resist the temptation for it to bend, keep it dead straight, and then pull back up again. So it's knee in, and if I show you that from on the back, you're trying to get pretty tightly in there, so that's going to enhance the abdominal connection. And then flex and press down and then back to enhance that bum muscle firing up. It is possible to do this one without support, so if you like to challenge your sideline balance, you can take that hand away and see it is going to be wobbly. It does require a bit of focus, but it is doable if you want to have a go at that, because of course you're travelling up and down and only a little bit forward and back. It's not quite as wobbly as, say, like a side kick where you're taking that length, the width away from you. So with side work, we're normally in the region of anywhere from about 10 up to 20, and that's really just to hopefully give everybody a chance to find their maximum. So keep working, focus on the breathing, focus on your stability. So you've got this contrast of very, very strong leg work with nice overall stability holding position. And of course, we always stretch when we've done our side work. So if you're still going, that's fine, keep going. I will give you time to make sure everybody gets to their maximum. Pointing toes, hand over head, nice big stretch there. And when I'm in the stretch position, going a little bit deeper into that breath, so you're filling up belly and ribs here to feel that nice expansion. Okay, very good. Once you've done your stretching out, just releasing and relaxing, I think we're all done. So we're going to come straight up from here to our sitting position. So we find whatever position is most comfortable for the legs. So as you know, I like feet together, but cross legs is good if you can do that, or even like that. We start this one, we're going to have 2 phases to this movement. So first of all, it's hands together in that position there. And I take a breath in to prepare, breathe out, I want to follow the head and the body and the arms all together, and I'm going to just look and see where I'm getting to in that rotational range to start with. Inhale back, exhale, just line up with a marker in the room, come back. The second part of the movement then is an opening door, so this hand stays still and I do a much bigger open now and come back. With this one, you'll be looking much further past where you were before, more than likely, over your shoulder probably, and then back. Then we alternate those 2 movements, so we're doing the slightly more restricted, it's not really a good name for it, but slightly more restricted spine twist with the hands together, then into this big opening door twist. And then ultimately what should happen is with the slightly more restricted one, you'll start to get a bigger range, which of course is what we're after whenever we do any of this sort of opening or rotational work. So you alternate between hands together and then that opening door position. And like I say, hopefully as we go along, we just start to feel that when we're in that slightly more tricky position, we can actually get that bit further because everything is loosened and mobilized and we're able to go a little bit. So we're going to have a little bit longer on this one. You might notice a bit in the shoulders, so try and just watch out for those shoulders getting up. So you might have to drop the arms even a bit there. So we go. Twist, very strong center work with that. Then when you go into the open door, it's a bit more fluid and free. But yeah, it's not easy on the shoulders, this one. So probably last couple now, I'd imagine. Now you'll want to finish, although we are alternating, I would finish on a closed arm one, just so you can finish and see where you got to. And you should hopefully notice you have gone beyond where you started. So once that's all done, you can bring the arms in, of course, roll them out because those shoulders probably will need that little bit of loosening off. They'll get a bit more stretching in a bit anyway. But let's come on to our other side, ready for our side knee pushes again. So as always, when we come to side lying, make sure your head is comfortable. Stretch out both those legs and find your best position, leg raised or lowered. And then we go up to the front as we exhale. So because we're trying to get that knee in tight, we need that exhale away. Flex and push away so the belly can open for the inhale, but you're still getting that strong bottom muscle firing. Breathe out and breathe in. And again, if you're feeling brave with the balance, or if you just like to be in that balance challenge work, you can try that version as well. Again, we're hopefully trying to get to our maximum within that sort of 10 to 20 range, and we'll always be stretching out, of course, at the end. Okay, they're looking good. Very nice. Breathing fits quite nicely with this one, so hopefully that's working well as well on this one. Very nice, looking really good. Okay, so when you go into your stretch position at the end of that, maybe that's going to be 3 or 4 breaths. That will take a little while just to get into that expansion and really feel that length down the body. If you've already done that, you could be just resting at the moment. When we're all done, we'll move over. We've got a bit more shoulder work to do. But when we come back on our backs, we're going to give them a good old stretch out. Okay, very nice. Rightio, let's come over then onto our tummies. And we want to find normal front lying position first. So that is always chin slightly tucked in, and we're looking down at the floor. Basically the same as when we're standing. We don't want the chin to be pushing forward or hanging down, so it's in that nice neutral position. For this one though, the arms are coming out behind us. So this is our breaststroke prep. As with most of the front line work, I don't want to be completely slumped here into feeling a lot of pressure on the chest, so I'll already be a little bit lifted. So for most of us, that's going to be a little bit of work into the low back, the bum and the legs before we start. Although, if you need to release that, head support, of course, will help be more relaxed down here if you do need an option. Okay, so then the arms start to move and I'm picking up. So as I breathe out, back of hands towards the ceiling. Inhale, release down. At the moment, my body is just staying still. So this would work if you were supporting your forehead. If your neck or your low back needed a bit of extra support, then that would work there. Or if you're doing the raised version, it's the same. We try and just turn the thumbs a little bit more upwards. Your palms should never face the ceiling. If you find that your palms are turning upwards, you'll need to rotate your thumbs out the other way. So they're going always outwards, never inwards. And that's what makes this one quite tricky. If you want a little bit of movement, you can have that. It does make it more challenging. So as you're coming up with the arms, you might add a little bit of upper body movement as well. And of course, that will just fire up those lower back, bottom and leg muscles more. So that's optional, but we're all doing the same with the arms. And yeah, just like I say, trying to get that outer thumb turning, which is quite challenging. Very good for shoulders, good for posture. Of course, we had that strong posture work earlier where that was all about drawing back. This is now the other movement that's important for posture, which is outward turning. Okay, so we'll just take a few moments to have a bit more time to work through our breaststroke prep. So just focusing on that outer turn of the thumbs, the upward lift of the arms. If we can, we're breathing out as we lift, in as we lower. And if you get finished, if you get to your point of fatigue, just letting the arms relax, let the upper body relax for a moment. I'm going to give you a little bit longer, so if you're still going, you've got time for a few more. But yeah, if you are done, just coming into your nice, easy, resting, relaxed position. And that could be just settling into a moment of resting with some soft, easy breathing, or maybe spending a moment just to go into some deeper breaths. So if you're still going on your breaststroke prep, just coming into your last few reps now. And then again, coming down into a little rest phase for a moment. Okay. So once we're down, we're going to just tuck the toes under a little bit. Give the hips a little shake out here. So we're just loosening through the low back, being soft and gentle through the hips and down into the legs as well. Okay, we're then going to bring the hands in. So we're coming up onto our hands and knees and just take a little moment to roll through our cat and cow and side to side work. So we're drawing the tailbone towards the nose and the nose towards the tailbone, finding where is our comfortable maximum, lengthening out the other way. Again, just finding where is comfortable. We'll go up and down there a couple of times each way, and then going into our sideways hip slides. We can make that a bit deeper by looking over the shoulder as well, make a bit more length. And then of course we want to put them all together, so you're mixing and matching your up and down, your side to side, which gives you lots of different ways to move the back. So find all of those different positions that feel good. Once we've done a few of those, just take a couple more. We're going to settle back into this all fours position, or if the wrists get tired and don't like to be there for too long, you can come down onto the forearm position here. Whichever one you're doing, the movement's going to be the same. So we slide one leg out behind us, and I've just got my foot flexed and my tiptoes just lightly grazing on the floor. Little bit of softness in the elbows if you are doing the hand support position. And as I breathe out, I'm lifting the leg, breathing in to lower, breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. And we'll keep going on that same side for about 10, but it could be a few more, depending on how that feels. And then of course, change to the other side when you're ready. If you're doing it in the elbow supported or forearm supported position, it's exactly the same. It looks like the leg goes a bit higher, but really, again, it just comes in line with the body. So I'm lifting up there. I'm making sure that the hips don't twist or roll, the back doesn't arch or move, and that the leg doesn't bend. So the leg stays very straight all the way through this one. We maintain a stable pelvis and a strong position. And that's, you know, like I say, the same whether you're on your forearms or on your hands. That's more about what's going to be comfortable through the hands and the wrist position. So like I say, probably aiming for about 10 each side, but then if you haven't got to the point where it feels fatigue there, you might go on and do a few more, and that's going to be different for everybody. So I'll give you a little bit longer, keep going if you need to. If you have finished, if you're getting to the point of about 10 each side now probably, I would come back. So as our normal stretch position is either child's pose or you've got high hips, just making sure that elbows stay a little bit soft again, so we're not putting pressure in those joints. And either way, both of those positions is just about finding a good stretch for your shoulders, and then just taking a few breaths there. If you're still going on the bum raises, that's fine. If you're in stretch, then just enjoy the stretch. If you've already been in stretch for a while and do want to get out of it, we're going to be working on our backs next, so you could always come over onto your back whenever you're ready. If you're still going on the leg raises, I'd probably just do the last couple of reps now. So hopefully you've managed to work quite evenly both sides. And then again, just come into a little bit of a shoulder stretch, and then we'll transition ourselves round onto our backs in a moment, ready for our last couple of things. Okay, lovely, lovely, lovely. So hopefully now we've worked our way back round onto our back. And if you normally have head support, you'll bring that with you now. So we're going to come into our normal setup position. So I've got knees bent, feet on the floor, head and shoulders relaxed. And we're going into a reverse curl. We've got a few different options here. It's all about strongly firing up those tummy muscles. So first of all, I'm going to take both arms so they're just stretching out overhead. I want my breath connection, of course, so my normal breath connection. And my option one is as I breathe out, I've got opposite arm and leg coming towards one another. The hand will go pretty much all the way to the floor. The knees coming in towards the chest, and I'm lifting my bottom up off the floor a little bit to get that pelvic tilt action. And then release out, do the other side. So scoop the tailbone. So it's like the beginning of shoulder bridge, where you're trying to scoop your tailbone from pointing at your feet. You're scooping up towards the ceiling. So that's our single leg option. There, trying to get reverse curl and then return to neutral each time. For the two leg work, we would start with them up in the air, so we're not going to lift them from the floor repeatedly. We're going to have them up in the floor, in the air to begin with. And then from here, as we breathe out, press the arms over, scoop the hips up, and then just again return to neutral. So knees above hips, neutral position, arms stretching over. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And you'll see that with this one, I'm using my arms for a little bit of a push to help scoop up through the tailbone. Okay. So, we're going to keep working through there. We can probably do as many as we can. I'm going to give you a little bit longer. We've got one more thing to fit in and some stretching, of course. So we'll just have a little bit longer on these reverse curls. So if it's still feeling good, you've got time to do some more. If you have got to the point of fatigue, then of course, you can always come down into resting position, of course, whenever you need to, whenever you're ready. Okay, very nice. So if you're still going, last couple of reps, and then come on down into your rest. And you may want to just lengthen out there or just soften for a moment. Okay. Now, once we've had a little rest there, we're back into our normal setup position. Again, we might have head support if that's what we normally do. And we've got the hands onto the belly. We're just noticing normal natural breath. We're going deeper with it. So we inhale, feel the belly rise, exhale, encourage away. Now we're bringing the arms up into a palms forward position, reaching through that. We're going to do this with either a single or a double tabletop. If you do single, of course, do about 10 of the cycle, the pattern of the cycle of the pattern that we're going to do in a second, and then change legs, of course. And if you're doing doubles, stay where you are. I'm going to demo without the legs and then talk about that as well. So from here, breathe out, press into a toy soldier. So that's palm down for this hand and palm up for this hand. There. And I'm trying to mainly focus on this arm going overhead, getting it down to the floor, creating length, and at the same time keeping ribs connected. Then I come up a little bit more relaxed. Try and really soften through the shoulders as you come into the horizontal position, and then go big stretching again when you change direction on the toy soldier. So it's quite a relaxed horizontal, a really long stretch, nice and relaxed again, and then another really long stretch, and then open again, and so on. And I've demoed it with both feet on the floor, so that would be an option for if the back is getting fatigued or the legs are getting tired. Now we're into the last one and we're thinking about stretching a bit more into the shoulders. You could leave the legs out. Of course, if you add one or two legs into a tabletop position, then you're adding in that level of deeper abdominal and back challenge that we always have with this type of work. So like I said before, if you are doing your single leg, probably doing about 10 cycles through that pattern, and you're probably not far off that now. So when you get to that, just change legs, and then again, repeat that cycle through about 10 times. So nice encouragement. The stretch is encouraged every time. You want to feel the contrast where the horizontal is feeling really soft and relaxed, whereas the stretch, it is encouraged every single repetition. So we're getting a good old stretch for those shoulders, of course, really good for posture. And once we've done these, we'll be coming into our little stretch phase. Very, very nice. So I think that's probably going to be about it for everybody. So from here, we're going to bring the feet back down to the floor from wherever they were. Lift the knees up so they're coming into the chest, but we're not super squishing them in here like this. Just keep them quite relaxed and support with your hands. We're going to roll through the low back. So we're just coming into a nice little easy massagey type roll, and then we'll go back the other way. Okay, that's good. Now we're going to carefully place those feet down again, make our body as long as we can this time, so pointing the toes, arms overhead. We'll take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Encouraging the breath, encouraging the stretch, flexing feet as well, so lengthen down through the back of the legs, press through the heels again, into that slightly deeper breath connection. And then relax those, keep those arms stretching overhead, give the legs a little shake out here so the hips are just getting a little rock like we do on the front line hip rock. Give the legs a little shake out with that as well. Let the feet loosen, and then just relax those legs. Bring the arms around. Nice big last little circle stretch. Bring the knees in, roll yourself over to the side and ease yourself up into a sitting position. And then from here we'll just sit nice and comfortably. Hands together, pushing forward, dropping the chin slightly and opening out those shoulders. Again, we just want those couple of slightly deeper breaths. Okay, we're sitting up tall, we're resting the arms around, we're opening the chest. And breathing with that as well. Release from there. Take one hand down, take a really nice big stretch over to the side there, lengthen away. Again, it's using that breath to help encourage. And up and over to the other side. Nice big stretch away. Okay, let's bring that back. Then we'll give one last little release and roll for those shoulders out. And we are done. Great work, everybody. Lovely to see you. Well done, and I will see you all next week. Bye bye.